Hey guys, how's it going? It is May the 10th, 2020. I finally got back in the house. I was doing a favor for upstairs, but so I'm left with very little time because what I'm going to be doing tonight is I want to investigate a few things. So I apologize for the uh, I said there was going to be something, and then there ended up being much of nothing tonight, unfortunately, or much of nothing this afternoon. Not to mention, I think I'm going to use this opportunity at least tonight, possibly Thursday night too, but I'm not sure because I do really want to get back to building the roots, and there's a lot of things to talk about. So let me just get this out of the way first. This is a spreadsheet that I am starting, and what it is the actual trains that you may have seen in the videos this morning and early afternoon that I was posting. It's only the start of it. So what's happening because of the quote-unquote global pandemic, whatever you want to call that, and of course the economy that was destined to do this anyways, because that's the real deal, is the economy. The economy was headed this way, whether you believe it or not, or whether you believe the media, Wall Street and Main Street, there's no correlation. People are, what's really happening out there is a lot of people are losing jobs. A lot of people. I'm fortunate to be in an industry where I don't have to worry about it. I don't know anybody who's sick. I don't know anybody who's sick. I do know one person that's been tested, no problem. Everybody gets worried because when they get cold symptoms, flu symptoms, I've been down that boat. I'm not going to go too far into this, but I could go on and on about it, but I'm trying to avoid it because I want to concentrate and just focus on the stuff that I can do, and that's this stuff. So the economy, you haven't seen nothing yet. This is nothing, and there's this false sense of security out there, I think, and it isn't going to be a second wave or third wave or whatever. People don't know what the hell's coming. I think even I don't know what the hell's coming, but I can tell you right now it ain't going to be pretty. So, but just if you were prepared the first time, be prepared next time. That's all I can say, and I will be. So, that's all I got to say about that. So, first line here is 421 that came into Port Robinson yesterday. It was led by the power. Oh, I forgot to put the power on the. I forgot to put the NS power that went out on this thing. But anyways, that's okay. And there was some NS power. There's 3 units on that one, but ditto with 562 to Buffalo still had the same power as well. But anyways, 2842 was the leader all day. He was the leader coming back later as 561. So he basically he set off 3149 in the team track, which is that little spur at Port Robinson that I've modeled. And what we ended up having was there was this car here that was these yellows are what was set off in Port Robinson. What was set off in Port Robinson is in the yellow, and there was a lot of set-offs, but there was only 3 pickups coming out. So those cars got set off. This looks like a buffer car for 3257. I forget what 3257 is. I'd have to look that up. 2055, that's not a question mark. That's the actual. Ammonia 1114 is another one. Acid 1830. Vinyl chloride. Now the vinyl chloride, this is what I do know. I know the vinyl chloride definitely is going to oxyvinyl. The center flow hoppers, there's a good possibility that a lot of those center flow hoppers could be going to Port Colborne Harbor. Some of the tanks as well. Covered hopper, yeah. liquefied petroleum gas, I don't know of anything in Niagara that takes it. There's a Lubrizol, but I don't know about that. So what I'm going to be doing, and the reason why I'm eager to get out, is I want to find out what happened to these cars and did they leave the yard last night. So I want to know where they are, because there's a lot of strange things that were unrelated to that. Port Colborne Harbor was, what's happened was they used to have 530 and 531, which used to switch Trillium. But I see other things here too. I don't know when. This is kind of weird because all these vinyl chloride cars, which are, these are tank cars, vinyl chloride monomer, were coming in. Now I haven't seen, they come in batches, I think, but I haven't seen anything as of yet. But when you look at what happens to 562 when it leaves Port Robinson, it picked up 2 gondolas and 1 hopper. This thing automatically loads hoppers in 2 places in oxyvinyl. Where the hell they got this 1 hopper from is beyond me. Maybe it was sitting in Port Robinson. I can't see a local that had gone, got that, but somehow there was this OCPX. I know that is plastic pellets. I know that because OCPX is the oxy chemical. Now it could be something else, but where the hell else did it come from? Obviously, it came from oxyvinyl in Port Robinson. The SOXX gondolas look like to be empty, but then there was another XOX gondola that was empty that came with it. So I'm not too sure why they decided to add those 3 cars, but they did. And definitely, I think this is a buffer car for the 3257s. And we had everything that came in. There was hardly any sorting done in Port Robinson whatsoever, which surprised me because that's not the way things used to happen in Port Robinson. So there's a lot of changes going on. And the reason why I'm speculating right now as to why that's happening is because they canceled a lot of trains, both here in Niagara, and they've canceled a lot of trains in the entire CN system. So what's happening, Toronto Mac Yard has these available tracks. So to reduce labor and the amount of time it takes to switch, they're actually blocking these trains out of Mac instead. So a lot of this stuff is coming out of Mac, pre-blocked with, and you'll see why. So these 3 were added. That's the only things that were added to the car. This was the train that left for Fort Erie yesterday. And then when you go into this line here, you can see this is an exact blocking. This already came perfectly blocked. Other than the tank car, this came perfectly blocked. They put a buffer car. So they wanted a what looks to be, I guess that would be tank no car. It was an empty tank car, and all these other cars were dropped off at the tail end of it, which I really don't know what that is. That could be vinyl chloride. I know where that is. There's probably some stuff for Trillium. Maybe they don't switch it on Sundays. I'm not too sure what's going on with that. I got my binoculars. I'm going to go down to Port Robinson shortly and try to take a good look in towards the yard to see if I can pick up some of these. But 560, but it gets good. So what happens is the head end. All I did was, the only thing that happened was they added these 3 cars here, the ones that were on the head end of the buffer. They were going NS in Buffalo. So these were headed to Buffalo on the NS train, NS C36 that came over. Now I didn't list this. Left before. This left well before NS showed up. So NS actually has an inbound that came here, which I haven't listed yet. So I went ahead with. We drove through the yard and we were able to see and confirm that all of these cars were in here. So that was the second half of the block other than what was dropped at things. So basically the LW, the TR and the LW was the last ones. It was perfectly blocked. There was hardly any switching done. I gotta be honest, that kind of appeals to me in a way. It's not as challenging, but it's not easy to be switching a yard, to flat switch a yard. And I could see it getting tiresome, and that's something that, like I said, I'll probably do once a week or whatever. But I'm also want to keep the automation in there so that if I get bored of one job, something else can happen. So, but some of the automation I can't do because things start flipping around. So I gotta figure out a way how I'm going to do this still. So this is why the thought process is going as far as the operation. I'm really starting to question why the hell I need to hump anything in Toronto, because at this point, number one, the hump I can't sort the way I would like to, and number two, if I could, I would, trust me. And number two, the reason why I was doing that was so I could randomly separate these things. These cars were pretty much in groups. You can see, for the most part, all the different types are kind of all together. So other than, switching up the car types a little bit and randomizing that, you can see box high cubes. The only difference here is there's a couple 2055s in the middle of a bunch of 1114s. The 3257s were together. The Arbeck lumber center beams. There was metal pipes or cement pipes or something on this AOK car. And we couldn't even read this number, this CLIX. I don't know what the hell that is. So, but that's what we've started so far. So once we had the data down of the trains, then we had everything that we needed. Now, unfortunately, this time of year when they come back, he starts coming back in the evening. So what comes in, it's going to be a good batch, put it that way. But when I saw 422 this morning, the very last video, we were surprised because Emmett right away, and he's on the ball. I'm just driving down the QEW, and he's looking at the train that we're catching up to as he's slowing down for a 45-mile-an-hour limited at Nels Road, and we're coming into Grimsby to overtake him. We're starting to bypass him, and he's noticing intermodal cars. He says, "Where the hell did the intermodal come from?" And at first I was like, "What?" I was like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, they came from the train last night." I was like, "No, they didn't." I said, "No, you're right, they didn't. We didn't see intermodal last night." I never thought of that. But there's been times where intermodal hasn't come across. He thought that, well, maybe they were sitting in Port Robinson. I said, I doubt it. I don't know why they would sit in Port Robinson. But we heard another symbol. That if another symbol had been, I think it was 563 or something, or I don't know what the hell it was. Or no, 539. And I've never heard of 539. So I don't know what that symbol is. The intermodal service just came back into play not too long ago. Now, originally I heard that he was coming back on 561. So this was the first time I saw 561. It's just been bizarre, but that's just been the way it is. I haven't seen 561, so yeah, it's crazy some of the stuff they're doing. So they definitely have a night shift where they start building some of the trains, but I assume that they're switching Trillium. Maybe they don't do it on the weekends, so some of this builds up. I'll have to take a look because I've been doing the Saturdays, so I want to see what Port Robinson looks like right now as much as possible. Of course, 421 this morning has already come in, or at some point I would imagine. And so I imagine there's going to be some cars in there, but I want to see what's in there. I want to see what engines are in there. They usually, now, they have been bringing 4 engines, but today I think 421 had 3 units. They brought the 4th engine out because they haven't, the fourth engine used to be a helper, and they use those for switching, so they don't have actual switchers in Port Robinson. They haven't had it for about a year or so now. So, but anyways, I just wanted to get through with that. I want to get going, so I'm going to pack myself some snacks and try to avoid the. I've spent enough this weekend, so. But yeah, that's it for tonight. Unfortunately, I might have a video uploaded tomorrow morning. We'll see what happens, because if I can start doing these memory card things, I might be able to upload a video and start uploading content first thing in the morning, and try to find videos that I think you guys would like, and just upload them in the morning, so I keep on feeding you some extra content for your day. Some of the videos that are on my memory card that I think would be cool to take a look at. But for me right now, that's it. I'm going to skedaddle and get stuff packed up and get down there in case this other train shows up. And I want to see what's going on. I'm very curious what else is going on down there. Of course, at night you can't see as much, but and it gets real boring otherwise. But I got music in the car, and you know, enough to keep myself busy for a little while. I think. Might go for a walk if the temperature's not too bad. What's the temperature like right now? It's 8 in light rain right now. 8 Celsius isn't too bad. I can live with that, but the rain isn't the greatest. It's just like, yeah, like drizzle. Actually, the southern Niagara's not too bad, so we'll see. But yeah, I might even do a blog on the road tonight too, so we'll see. Okay, guys, that's it for now. I gotta get out of here. So we'll talk to you later. See ya.